in a time that the world was changing, a tale was born, one of courage, of fellowship, of light against shadow. A man arose and wrote 3 books. One went to the elves, one to the dwarves, and one to men. 3 books to guide them, 3 books to bind them, 3 books to lead them into the realm of Middle-earth. 3 books to rule them all. This summer, a fellowship awaits. A journey begins. The Big Summer Read 2026. The Lord of the Rings trilogy. Join the fellowship. Walk with us to Mordor. Shawshank prison. Rita Hayworth in the Shawshank Redemption is a novella by Stephen King, and in my opinion is perfect for King's writing. It is a stream of consciousness that continues throughout, and when you think about Stephen King writing 2,000 words a day, to me it seems like he sat down and just knocked this thing out in a day or two. And it kind of reads that way as well. Like I said, it's just stream of conscious. We get it from Red's perspective, and it's kind of like some of the books we've read lately, like Augustus, where is the protagonist the protagonist? Is the center of our attention the actual protagonist? What do you think?
Well, when you say that, are you talking about Andy Dufresne?
Yeah.
Andy Dufresne is 100% the protagonist.
But he is not...
he's not the narrator.
He's not the narrator.
No.
Yeah. I guess when I'm comparing it to Augustus, Octavius is almost like a side, maybe, I don't know. Do you see the comparison I'm trying to make here?
So in Augustus, each of the letters is written from the perspective of somebody connected to Augustus. Maecenas, his poet friend, or Agrippa, his general, best friend, brother-in-law, son-in-law.
Me love Augustus.
Me love Augustus. But each one of their stories or letters is really about him. And that's why I also insist, like, Dracula may only appear physically in a few chapters, but everything's always about him.
He's always there.
He's there.
Yeah.
Just like in Macbeth, the witches may only appear in 2 or 3 scenes, but really they're on the periphery of everything. So Andy Dufresne, the entire story, I mean, it's about him too.
Yeah. I think that he's more direct than in Augustus.
Yeah.
Because it is like, this is basically like, let me tell you about this
Andy
guy.
Dufresne.
Yeah.
I would wager that it's the same kind of, I don't want to say structure, but maybe the same kind of voice as The Great Gatsby. Because Nick Carraway says, in my younger, more vulnerable years, I was taught to not be judgy. Let me tell you about all the people I judged this summer and how he idolizes The Great Gatsby. And Nick Carraway never gets over The Great Gatsby. He is disgusted by everybody else, but he still holds out that adoration for Gatsby. And Red never quite gets over Andy Dufresne. He idolizes that guy.
I think I do too.
Yeah.
I wish I could stay as calm and cool as he.
Nah, that's a cool guy. Yeah. Andy Dufresne is a cool guy.
Or he's autistic.
He could be. He is a cool. I would never be that chill.
I know, me neither. But I would be so obtuse.
Is that the word that he uses in the book?
Not in the book.
It's not, but it's the word he should have used.
So this is the 3rd Stephen King book that I've read, and you've gifted all of those to me.
That's right.
I do think I'm starting to notice patterns of his. And not that it's bad. I think it's kind of amazing. But you can kind of tell in his writing, I think, that he is just rattling stuff off the top of his head. Do you agree with that?
At times he is, yeah. At times he is. But again, with a beast like this, It's meant to be just a little novella. It's meant to be almost like Red is recording his diary. It's like a letter to himself, right?
Yeah.
And even at the very end, he has to append it with, I thought I was done, but Nick Carraway is kind of the same way, that it's this experience. You and I talked about this with Dracula, that it's hard to believe somebody could remember so much specific detail if they're writing their letters. But if it's raced, if it's hurried, if it's like, well, I did this and I remember him saying that, and even Red credits, I don't know that I know everything about it. I don't know that I got all the details right. It feels authentic to me.
Well, there's not really a lot of dialogue in it. That was something that I had noticed. It is a short book, and it is like a lot of, like I said, stream of consciousness, because it is just Red just continually rambling.
Yeah.
But there was not a lot of dialogue available.
The Shank.
You've been to the prison that was shot at.
So, yeah, when they made this movie, Frank Darabont directed it. And I assume Stephen King worked on the screenplay for it, right? It was shot at the Ohio State Reformatory Prison in Mansfield, Ohio. And I didn't realize that until a couple of summers ago. And that's really close to where my family in Ohio lives. And, I spent so much of my childhood up there, never knowing that right next door is where the prison was. And a few summers ago, my brother was like, hey, we should do a day trip and go out there. And I was like, for real? That's out there? And when you show up, you see it coming along the horizon, just like you do in the movie. And so many of the scenes, like when you walk into the parole board hearing, the opening shot, getting to see the warden's office, getting to see the pipe that Andy is breaking into, the solitary confinement. So much of it is there. It's amazing to walk through.
Were they lined up at the gate when you came in, waiting and heckling at you?
Everybody was shouting, fresh fish, fresh fish. When I walked in. In the movie, the warden, so they make all the fresh fish line up on a line on the floor, right? And they've been denuded and deloused and all of that. And they're standing there in shame and humility, right? And the warden comes up and tells them, that line is still there on the floor. Yeah. And so my brother and I had all the kids line up. And it's like, welcome to Shank. There's also this staircase. There's this really cool staircase in the movie where the warden and Andy Dufresne are talking about him writing the library and stuff. That staircase is there too. So it's really cool if you ever get to go by Mansfield, Ohio, the Ohio State Reformatory, and just do a walkthrough one day. They do, I think, still use it at Halloween as a haunted house attraction because, it is a former prison that's pretty grimy. Yeah. And you imagine using the solitary lockups and all the everything. It's a pretty creepy place to go into.
Have you ever been to Brushy Mountain?
I've been by it, but I've never been in it either.
I've seen pictures of it, though.
Yeah.
It looks scary.
I've only been by it from a distance. My in-laws went a little while ago.
What county is that in? Is that in the Moco?
Is it Blount? Is it Blount County or is it Roane County?
I know it's not in Roane. I thought it might have been in Morgan County.
I don't know.
Oh, man.
I feel like I've just brought shame upon the house.
We
of
have
history.
Exposed ourselves.
What a fraud.
To me, I was thinking about kind of like some things that this book is about, and I felt like it was relentlessness and never giving up on yourself. Yeah. And Andy Dufresne never does that.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I agree with that.
This is high quality podcasting.
No. I was just thinking, there's a book that's been on my horizon for a while now, and it's a chungus of a book, The Count of Monte Cristo.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that this is like Stephen King's one-shot swing at how could I write that? Because Salem's Lot is like his way of, tackling Dracula. Well, what about a classic like Count of Monte Cristo? And it is a great prison story, and it is a story of prison escape too. So what is fundamentally the story of the prison experience? If you're being isolated, if you're being traumatized by the systemic violence and nobody believing you, how do you continue in a world that says you're a murderer, you're a liar, and everything's gone deaf to you except the violence that they fed you to? How do you persist unless you hold on to hope, right? The eternal hope. And not to beat a dead horse, but that's Gatsby too. And that's what Nick Carraway says was his all-time classic feature, is his persistent hope, the belief that we can survive this. Andy Dufresne too, that what a great story of a character who will persist in spite of everything. And again, do it so cool, right? Oh, yeah. He never shows you his cards, got a poker face you wouldn't believe. Like, this guy never let you know he was in on it.
Can you imagine drilling a hole for 4 decades?
Right.
And not tell anyone?
Right.
I feel like I would almost have to be like, hey, Bond, poster.
Right.
There's a surprise.
How do you explain it to people who have never read the story or, shockingly, have never watched the movie? How do you explain it to them?
Oh, well, a man's wife is cheating on him with the golf pro, and he catches him, and they end up killed. The gun was emptied on both of them, right?
That's right.
And
whoever it was reloaded and shot more.
Right. And there were tire tracks that went to Andy Dufresne's car.
That's right.
And it was pretty much like we don't really need to investigate this anymore. We got motive. We got you at the scene. So he gets arrested, and he claims he was innocent. And he's in jail for life because Maine doesn't have the death penalty. And then he just kind of chills out and slowly knocks away at a concrete wall while building up the library in the prison. And then a guy comes along and is like, hey, my cellmate actually talked about killing a golf pro, and this got framed for it. And then in the movie, the guy gets killed.
That's right.
But in the book, they move him to prisons. Yeah. So
there were some big differences in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not like tons, but.
Yeah. I think it's been a little while since I've watched the movie, but it is one that I've watched probably 7 or 8 times, I suppose.
What's the whole Shawshank thing?
Shawshank. What was that? It's like the Shawshank rule.
Yeah.
Where if you're channel surfing and it's on, you have to stop and watch it.
I never even thought, oh, okay, well, I have to. You just feel compelled
You just do it. Yeah, it's not that you have
Shawshank's
to.
On.
Yeah. It's the Shawshank rule.
It's such a good movie. It's such a good story.
Well, I guess it's like when you know it's going to be good, so you're flipping through and it's there, and so it's like I can just watch Shawshank and I'll have a good time.
Yeah. Well, Andy Dufresne doesn't even fight it because, I mean, all the evidence implicates him.
Yeah, and he knows it.
Right.
He knows it, yeah.
He stands up for himself, but he doesn't, like, belabor the point.
He's highly intelligent, and I think that's part of the thing is he's like, I'm screwed. Like he knows it. And he's pretty blunt with the judge and the lawyer during his trial, and I don't think that won him any favors.
It absolutely worked against him.
Yeah.
Like the whole coolness, like it said that the jury was chilled by how cool he was with his answers.
Yeah.
But he's just not being like he's not getting into histrionics about, oh, I didn't do this. He's just being really, I did not do this.
It makes sense that he's a numbers guy because I've known people who are numbers people, and their brains are so analytical.
Yeah.
That they, like, a big issue comes up and they've weighed the pros and cons and realized that, oh, this is a bad situation and there's no way out. I'm just going to have to tough it out.
Yeah.
And they're just so like, yeah.
Another way I kind of read it was that Andy Dufresne is probably already feeling pretty defeated. Like your wife found out that she's been cheating on you.
Well, he was going to commit suicide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your wife has been cheating on you. This has been going on for a while. There's no changing it. She's leaving you yet again. And he had bought the gun and everything. Like, it was in his head that he wanted to do something about it.
Well, he was going to kill himself, like, in front of them. Yeah.
But he didn't.
Yeah.
He changes his mind. And then when he gets arrested for it, and it's just like, they're dead. What point is there? And Isn't that a great subtext for the whole story? What point is there when life continues to beat us down, when life continues to grind us down like rocks? Like what do we do?
Or quartz.
Maybe we're the rock hammer, right?
Maybe so.
That's us.
Or maybe life is the rock hammer.
Maybe life is
wearing
the rock
us
hammer.
down.
Wearing us down? But I'm supposed to persist. I got to do it.
Well, eventually a hole will show up in the wall.
You know, somebody made a good point the other day. I mean, I'm not bothered by this because I think I could think around it. In the movie, he gets really antsy, and the book too. He gets really exaggerated antsy and goes to Red, who's the guy in the prison that gets you everything. He's a fixer. He'll get you anything. And he's like, hey, can I get a poster? Can I get a big poster?
Yeah.
And so Rita Hayworth hangs on his wall. And the cool thing is that as time passes, that poster changes too with the decades.
Yeah,
right?
I would have kept Rita Hayworth though.
Yeah, but if the poster's wearing out, then you're going to change it to this.
Give me another Rita Hayworth. Okay, moving on.
But then by the very end, he has escaped through a hole in the wall that the poster's been covering up all these years, right? Somebody made a point the other day because when the warden walks in, he throws a rock at the wall. He throws it at the poster. Yeah, at the poster. And it goes through, and that's how they find, oh, no, there's a hole behind it. How did Andy Dufresne pull the poster back down and tack it down if he's in the hole? If he's in the tunnel?
Well, wasn't it that it was just taped up at the top? And
in my head, it's just taped.
It's like a little door.
In my head, that's all it is.
Because, I mean,
that's in my head.
It's kind of like Red was saying in the book. By the time they had found the hole, he was almost a day away. Yeah, I know. So I don't think he was really concerned about it if it was latched in there or not. So,
but anybody, in theory, any guards could have come in and all they had to do was lift it up. It can't be firmly like tacked down all the way around, because in the book, for a 8-month stretch, he gets a cellmate. In the book and the movie, he's usually like alone. And that's kind of like a favor to him is, hey, you've been working for us. We're at least going to let you have your own room. But for an 8-month stretch, he has a cellmate, and the cellmate's always commenting how cold it is in the room. And it's because there's a draft coming in from behind the hole. So it can't be 100% down. But yeah, if he's crawling in and it's got to tuck down somehow, how's he?
It's just like a little door. It's like a little doggy door.
I still love it. I think it's perfect.
I think it's perfect. Nacho Libre, where she's got the secret tunnels. Secret tunnels.
Hey, Chancho, give me a rock hammer.
This is my lucky rock hammer. Do you think that if we for some reason wound up in prison, and if the NAP tracks us down, and we hang up a poster of Rita Hayworth, do you think that they're going to be suspicious?
Man,
if it's the NAP, no, because they don't read. Okay, continue.
Things that have to be so different nowadays, right?
Yeah.
King also allows himself that little loophole because Andy Dufresne tunnels through the wall. It was cheaply made concrete.
Yeah.
And I think that's also a callback to Alcatraz because the escape from Alcatraz was possible because of the seawater deteriorating some of the concrete. So I think that's like a little parallel there. But he tunnels through and makes it to a sewer line that he's only just barely able to squeeze himself into. And the book says if he didn't do that now, the prison's about to switch over to a separate septic system, a modernized one. There's just so many things that are different. Like you don't have prison bars that are like key bars anymore, right? And everything's electronic, everything's so different. I also have to imagine that the contraband, which is still a thing that people get, I don't know. Do they allow them to have posters on the wall?
I don't know.
We should go ask.
Thank God I've never been.
Part two, we're going to record from the
field
Justice
trip.
Center.
Well, this is our field trip episode.
We need to go ask. Hey, so where do they tunnel out?
Oh man, can you imagine them just letting us in Gen Pop?
Which one of these guys?
Hey guys, can you? Hi, my name's Drew. Can you show me your cell?
Talk into this microphone here. Which one of you is the sisters?
Yeah, they're like, come here. I'll show you. That's what they'd say.
Okay, I don't know. I don't think I'd make it.
That part, make it a week. Those parts were rough.
I don't think I'd make it a week.
I think if I was allowed to, I probably would just not leave my cell.
Yeah,
I'd probably I'm gonna just, if that's okay with you guys.
In the movie, they added one of the new fish was a guy who was crying for his mother, and the guard Byron Hadley goes into his room and tells him to shut up, and then beats him to death on that first night. That's not in the book. It's not until toward the end that Red remembers, when Andy Dufresne came on his first night, everybody was chanting fresh fish, fresh, but that didn't happen in the book. Part of me wonders, I wouldn't break as fast as that guy, no. But part of me wonders, gee whiz, how long would it be before some thug's going to come up behind you with a shiv and just take you out? How long before you make a mistake?
So you would be joining a gang pretty quick. That's what you're saying.
Protect me, protect me.
Yeah.
No, take back season.
I need help.
It's us.
I need help. Daddy.
You said, but what you said was, I was on your side.
You were talking about Count of Monte Cristo, comparing it to that. I was just thinking too, also something that reminds me of is this, I guess, this idea of a loss of identity, because he loses his identity. Andy Dufresne does, and that's what happens in Count of Monte Cristo also, is because he's like presumed dead and he loses his fiance or wife. And
have you read that?
I've watched the movie, so I don't know how close.
I'm like double whammy. I have no context for it other than the basics.
I really like the movie, and I would like to read the book, but it's a big book, is it not?
I know.
Yeah.
That's why I was going to save it for Big Summer Read some year. Some year.
Yeah.
Some year.
Maybe next year.
Could be.
Not this year.
Who knows? Maybe I'll be in solitary this time next year. Who knows?
Well,
they're going to come for me and send me to a Guatemala, Venezuela prison.
Yeah, El Salvador,
somewhere.
I like the movie, and I just remember it is. You've brought that up, and I didn't even think about that reading it. How the guy who became, I don't know his name, so I apologize out there. I probably sound very illiterate, but the guy who was the Count of Monte Cristo, how he just kind of was very patient, and like his wife and his best friend are right in front of him, and they're lovers, and he's still just so cool about it. Which again is like a callback to Gatsby. How
you always look so cool.
Well, yeah, right, because Gatsby. Basically, his lover is there in front of her husband, and he has to keep his cool, which we know that he ends up losing, and so does the Count of Monte Cristo, because I can remember there being a big sword fight in that. But that's one thing that Andy Dufresne never really does lose his cool. He kind of does.
He kind of does. One point.
He sort of does when the warden, the last warden.
That's right.
Just flat out refuses to work with him, and he's even like, "I'm not gonna rat you out because it's gonna get me in trouble too."
Yeah.
And he just flat out refuses, and he kind of loses it then, in a sense of. Red talks about how he started getting that stare where he was counting the years and was thinking like, "Oh man, I've been in here for 30 years now, and I'm never getting out." And so he talked about how he never really had that before. So I guess that stoicism that was in him had disappeared.
And now it's been a while since I've seen the movie. Isn't there a part in the movie, I think you're referencing it right there, where they're worried he may try to take his own life, like he may try to end it. They put him in solitary for a while, and then it was I don't know, he may try to take his life.
Isn't the warden though kind of in the movie, he's like playing that up? That's why we're putting him in solitary, because he's going to kill himself, but he's really not. But the warden's like, we got to watch Dufresne and keep him in here for a while. What about the character, though? There's one character in the movie that never really, I felt like, was in the book, and that's the little custodian guy who he went and got his job at the supermarket, and then he wrote his name on the rafter, and then he killed himself.
So they briefly reference
Just very briefly.
They briefly reference him. He works in the library, and he brings them, he slips them stuff that Red is trying to get for him, like when he brings around library books. In the book, he's got a pigeon, but in the movie, he's got a raven. And they let him go, and then they found the pigeon dead in the yard.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the movie, it's a real sad story because it's also kind of like a cautionary, like a haunting. Here's what happens to guys who get institutionalized. Red feels like I can't leave because I'm already institutionalized. Like this could happen to you too. It's a real sad story.
But it's really prevalent in the movie and really not existent in the story. So
his room is also a mock-up at the Ohio State Reformatory. It's like you get to see it, and his name is carved.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. So you get to walk through that before you leave too. There were some. We've talked about this too. How reading the book feels like watching the movie.
It does
because they ported so much of it.
So
over,
yeah,
right. But they do make some noticeable changes with characters like his. Also, Byron Hadley.
Yeah.
The big bad guys, Byron Hadley and Warden Samuels, in the movie are actually split up into different characters in the book. Like you get 3 wardens over the decades, and then Byron Hadley is only there for a while, and then he's replaced with somebody else. But in the movie, they simplify that by just saying, nope, there's Byron Hadley and there's Warden Samuels.
Yeah. I think in the novel or the novella, because of that, you can kind of keep track of the passage of time a lot better.
That's right.
In the movie, if you're not really paying attention to like the styles, like when the new prisoners come in, they're dressed a little different, you know? You really probably wouldn't even notice. So.
Also, the posters that are changing over the decades.
Yeah.
I think Byron Hadley is a great villain. Like as the guard, he is such a terrifying ogre. He's what Stephen King would call a hard case. You know, he's this bad guy.
Wait. You mean Randall Flagg?
I did not say that.
Yes, you did. But the hard case.
He is a hard case.
He's the warden dude.
Byron Hadley is like, he's a threat. Like that guy will end you, you know? Warden Samuels, I think, is an even better villain in the movie. In the novella, by the last warden, he's just called Warden Samuel Norton.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But in the movie, they change it to Warden Samuels. And he is played expertly, I think.
What's that guy's name? He's in other stuff.
I had it written down.
He even has the look, though, of a guy like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
He, that actor was at the Cumberland County Playhouse a few years ago.
What?
Yes.
What?
He was at the Cumberland County Playhouse. Now, I say a few years ago. This is probably 10 years ago, and my memory's just shot.
But still.
But he was here at Crossville, Tennessee in a play. Yes.
What?
Yes. I got to look up his name now. I'm so bad. We'll add it to show notes.
Man, how times have changed for him.
Yeah.
How the mighty have fallen.
No. Because actors, you always got to be paying the bills.
You got a family to feed.
And probably it was just a fun thing for him to do.
Maybe.
Too.
Well, does he live here?
Ooh, that may be true too. You know, I never even thought about that. But this was like 10, maybe 12 years ago.
I mean, I'm not knocking the Playhouse. I mean, I think it's a good thing that we have it, but
yeah.
The only things that I ever see playing there are like Lion King Jr. and Little Mermaid Jr. and what's the Mist on the Mountain or whatever that's called. And
they have something that they're playing right now that I was going to bring up to you that we need to go watch.
Is it Equus?
It's actually not. I don't think they can be that avant-garde. But I was even like, hey, what if he brought Mary Beth and I brought April and we went to go watch a play?
Yeah,
that could be cool
fun.
sometime.
Yeah.
I don't know. It sounded like it was a murder mystery, something like that.
Oh yeah, they have a murder. It seems like they have a murder mystery there like once a year.
But it sounded like it was a good one.
Oh.
It made me think, Drew might like that.
Is it Perry Mason?
But yeah, this actor, Warden Samuels, I mean, he is a capable villain. That's something that I teach in class. Like you see in so many of these stories, okay, here's the big bad guy. But in really well-written stories, like you got to have the possibility that the bad guy's going to win, right? That oftentimes the bad guy does win. So it's entirely plausible that you're a victim, Andy Dufresne, of this system that is going to keep you in prison. We don't care if we got the right guy or not. Justice was served upon somebody, and the civilized world can go on. We are going to keep exploiting you for whatever, whether it's tax purposes, whatever. And Warden Samuels is, hiding behind the face of fundamentalist, Christian, Baptist, whatever.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He's a good villain because it's a tough mirror to look at.
Yeah.
Because how many of those people do we know, especially right now?
It's not that every apple is rotten, but man, those rotten apples, like they're endangering the rest of us.
Yeah.
They are rottening the rest of, that sounds so dumb. They are corrupting the rest of us.
Yes. And those are the ones that always get the attention.
Wardens.
But also, though, that's what I'm saying, though. We know those guys.
Yeah, he keeps getting put back into office. And it's like,
oh, I know this guy.
Yeah. He does.
You're right.
Getting put back into office.
Yeah, you're right. So it's just that I think that's why he's so detestable is because you almost feel that sense of helplessness because he's the warden. Like, what are you going to do, Andy Dufresne? Nothing. Yeah. You can do nothing. But then he's going to put it on this veneer of his Baptist pen. He's always putting his Baptist pen on.
Yes.
And he's citing Bible verses and things like that, you know. So the people who don't know how he's operating behind the curtain.
Right.
That's the Wizard of Oz.
I mean, he's carrying a Bible. He's got to be a good Christian, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, he's reading the Bible on YouTube video. Is that? Yep. Warden Samuels did not have YouTube. I'm sorry.
Right.
I misspoke. But he's got the Bible. He's got the Bible pen. He knows his Bible verses.
He makes sure that every prisoner gets a Bible. So he's got to be. I think that's a great idea, right? He's doing the Lord's work. He is about law and order.
Mm-hmm. He is the warden of justice. Mm-hmm. And Andy Dufresne can't do anything because Andy Dufresne has to see the real warden.
Yeah.
And like I said, you're hopeless because who are you going to tell? You know, who are you going to tell? You're going to get a lawyer and they're going to go to court and it's going to be like, oh, here's Warden Samuels. And no, he's a good Baptist and done. So,
right.
Yeah.
So there's the bigger lesson that so often the world just pays attention to what it wants to see on the surface instead of the truth that you just know it. You just know, okay, he's a bad guy. Mm-hmm. Well, then think about some of the endings that happen for these characters too. Andy Dufresne in the movie gets a similar outcome to the movie or to the book Andy Dufresne, right? Mm-hmm. He changes his name and gets to go away to what was that?
Shoot.
Because I said it over and over and over.
It's such a big name.
And Red memorized it.
Yeah.
Red gets a similar kind of ending too. Byron Hadley gets a different ending in the book. Because in the book, he retires and he moves away before any of the fallout happens. And then Warden Norton in the book gets undone. He gets shamed and he has to move away. And Red says he probably spends the rest of his life thinking, how did he do it? How did he do it?
But he killed himself in the movie.
In the movie, Byron Hadley gets arrested and cries like a baby when they take him away. And Warden Samuels hears the cops coming and takes his own life in his office. Which one's better? The book ending for the bad guys or the movie ending for the bad guys?
Oh gosh.
Is it better?
I hate to say someone killing themselves is a better ending, but you feel more justice there.
Did they change that in the screenplay in the movie because it would be a more fulfilling ending for audiences?
I think that, on the screen, it'd be tough to display on the screen him living out his days in a rocking chair, still trying to figure out Andy Dufresne. Where's he at?
It just doesn't. It doesn't feel as satisfying.
Yeah, you don't get the justice.
I need to see, like in Hamlet, I need to see the big bad guy get his due. Yeah. I need to see him hoisted on his own petard. I need to see this guy caught by his own trap. His own machinations came down. Isn't that what our literature teaches us? That if we can't do anything about evil in the real world, because sometimes the bad guys get away with it. They get away with it. The most we can hope for maybe is that evil will undo itself on a long enough timeline.
We can hope.
It'll self-destruct.
We can only hope.
We hope.
I think that's always the biggest differences, though, between cinema and literature is you're probably not going to always get the payoff that you're hoping for in a story. And maybe that's because, like you said, it probably does, unfortunately, mimic reality more than cinema. But movies are such a short punch.
Yeah.
and I need you to come back and watch my next one. So I've got to leave you with a satisfying ending, you know. And that was something, I'm looking at your Project Hail Mary 10. That was something you and I talked about with Project Hail Mary. Did we want some type of consequence for Ryland Grace, you know? And I think that goes into that difference of like images and reading text, because when you leave Project Hail Mary the movie, you're kind of like, you know what, the world's okay. I think everything is going to be okay. We're going to get through this. But sometimes when you read the book, it's kind of like, that's great, but is that really all that happened? You know, so
I get no real assurance out of the book.
Right. So it's just kind of like, I mean, you know, why is that though? Yeah. Do you think it is because we are visually, because that's what I told you when we did our like recap thing, is when I watch the movie, I think, I could never leave Rocky out there. I couldn't do that. But when I read the book, I'm like, nah, but sorry, buddy. But
maybe it's because theater and film, and maybe it's because film is an extension of theater, and we as an audience need to see the big ending. We need to see the ending, because writing, prose, and fiction, maybe they can be more gray area, artful. Maybe they can do that to where we've just spent so much time reading and cogitating and just digesting that maybe there's a lot more room for nuance.
Yeah.
But film really has to pack it in.
Do you think that it's because we read it, it's such a longer work, and you spend so much more time with it that you maybe know the characters a little bit better, and you're kind of like, I can kind of see where this is going?
But in Shawshank Redemption, I feel like I come to know the characters so well in the movie. I feel like so well.
Yeah.
You even get the extra characters, like his crew of people that in the book, I mean, you hear about guys that he tars the roof with. You hear about some of the other guys, but you don't really get to develop faces for them. But in the movie, you get to know these guys. That's your crew. They sit at the lunch table with you, and they're wondering, why ain't Andy here today? Like, they're going to wonder, right?
Yeah.
I think it is a satisfying ending.
I think
I prefer the movie ending.
Yeah.
I like seeing Warden Samuels. That sounds really cruel. I like seeing him built up to this moment and looking over his shoulder and knowing the cops are coming for you, and there's no running away. There's no getting out of this.
Well, again, that goes into, we get to see that justice.
Yes.
It's not that you want someone to kill themselves. It's what that, I guess, represents on the screen. For the wicked. It's justice, you know. And in the movie, the officer is such a sidekick. So an arrest makes sense. And him crying because he's such a tough guy.
Crying like
he's
a
a
baby.
hard case, right?
Yeah.
If Randall Flagg got arrested and was crying like a baby, we would be like, haha, that's right, Randall Flagg, you know, because even Randall Flagg is like, I work for a even worse person, right? So, I mean, here he is. He's back. Here he is. He's back. I didn't even think about to look for him while I was reading this. What's my deal?
Byron Hadley in the story, though, doesn't have any of the mean mischievousness, the impishness that Randall Flagg does.
Not really, but he is kind of like boastful, and you can kind of tell that probably his boasts aren't true.
Yeah.
You know? And he talks about his wife and stuff like that. So I don't know. I mean, I could kind of see. I'm going to say that he's Randall Flagg. I'm going to chalk that one up to Stephen King. When was The Stand written?
The Stand was originally written in the 70s.
Okay, because this is 82.
Yeah.
So he had Randall Flagg on his radar.
Yeah.
So that's him.
And The Gunslinger was earlier than that, right?
And that is Randall Flagg. That is.
Maybe it's just, it's all the way down.
You gave me a book.
It's all the way down.
He's legitimately, his name is in there. So
A Wizard Named Flagg. How about that?
Oh, man.
We've talked about this now, too, that Stephen King is crossing genres.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like your first one was The Stand, which is modern horror in a real world scenario.
Yeah.
A little dash of magic, but.
Yeah.
And then your second one was
Gunslinger,
which is a Western and fantasy.
Yeah.
Like pseudo reality.
It's like half and half.
Where do you put Shawshank? Because it's not horror.
I mean, it's almost historical fiction, just about.
That feels right.
I would say that's where I would put it.
Historical fiction or general fiction?
I think it's historical because it's I mean, it's set so far back for us now. You know, when did the murders happen? It's like post World War II or before during the Depression.
It's post World War II.
Yeah, so it's like in the 40s. Yeah,
I think the movie
he escapes in the
captures that
70s. Yeah,
because so much of it is framed in the context of how history is passing wild.
Yeah, it's a historical fiction.
Yeah. I wonder what the next one will be.
The next Stephen King?
Yeah.
I know what it's going to be. It's on my bookshelf at home. It's Eyes of the Dragon.
Oh, how about that? It's going to be fantasy and horror.
You know, I think I would classify. I don't think I would classify The Gunslinger as Western
at all. Really?
No, I think it's fantasy.
Ew.
Yeah, I do.
Well, why can't it be Western? I mean, it's about the gunslinger.
Yeah,
I know.
I think it's like a westernized take on fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like if you know how like they like you got like a double genre and they put like the slash there, I would put fantasy first.
Okay.
Yeah, fantasy / Western.
A westernized fantasy horror.
Because I'm thinking about like the flashbacks he had where he was like training his hawk and all that stuff. There's a lot of like high fantasy stuff going on, I felt like there. And then you've got like the magic stuff, even when he's in the West, like the resurrected guy, the guy who chewed grass, and I think I would classify it more as fantasy.
It still feels awfully Western.
I mean, the beginning of it, absolutely. Yeah, the beginning of it's very McCarthy-esque.
Yeah,
but I would say once you meet the guy that was resurrected, that's where it really starts to change for me.
If you ever read book number 2, it's not so much Western at all.
Yeah,
it's really not. It's not. And book number 3 is one of my favorites. Not so much Western at all. But book number 4, it totally falls back into Western.
That's a lot of books.
There's 7 of them.
Whew. I've wondered if we would ever tackle a series. I was thinking about that while reading We Are Legion because
killed one of 7.
I don't know. I think Raji said there were 5 books in the Babaverse.
Really?
Yeah. And I don't know. I told them the other night, I don't think I'm going to read book 2.
Okay.
Like, it's a good book, and hopefully we'll get to talk about it here soon. It's a good book, and I enjoyed it, but it wasn't good enough for me. I'm not sitting there thinking, what are they going to do next? You know.
One of my Shawshank questions, like it's entertainment, it is fiction, but I really feel like Shawshank has more meaning to it than what some people might try to write Stephen King off. Like if they don't really give him a fair shake, I think a lot of people are going to say Stephen King, oh, that's horror. Bram Stoker, oh, that's horror, or sci-fi. But I really believe a story like Shawshank, especially the movie version of it, is going to have meaning and message beyond. Like you're going to take this with you.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. I think that I think that's what I was saying in the beginning. I think that the novella is the perfect mode of writing for him. Because he does, I mean, we've talked about that so much. Like he's famous for that.
He's famous for short stories.
For trying to write so much in a day, you know? And so I think that that's like almost perfect for that style of writing because, I mean, you're sitting down trying to write, I mean, honestly, as much as you can. And if you're doing that daily, then you will get as good as Stephen King, you know? I mean, that's just, it's like, we've been talking about baseball a lot lately. Yeah. And you asked me, why do they play so many games? That's why you play so many games in baseball, because if I don't play every day, I'm going to make common mistakes. Wow. And it's the same thing with Stephen King. Like, if I write 2,000 words every day, of course, at some point, you are going to become a master at that, you know? So I think that for me, that's why the short fiction for him is a better mode of writing. But he's so famous for writing that's like his thing, right?
Big fat books.
Big books, yeah.
But he also has so many collections of short stories too.
Yeah.
So my question with like Shawshank, aside from The Stand, Gunslinger and all that, Shawshank, 1 to 5, how much merit does it have as a story? Not entertainment.
As a story.
I hate to say the word literary. I don't want to say that word.
Why not?
Just because I don't want to feel or aim for pretentiousness.
No, I would pick it over Of Mice and Men.
Really?
I don't like Of Mice and Men, so yeah.
Oh.
I don't like it. And they're similar like length books. That's why it was like the first thing that I
Is it just because you've taught it a lot and it's kind of worn out from it?
No, I mean, I didn't teach it that much. Not like Romeo and Juliet. But I don't know. I just never really connected with that book.
Okay.
So.
1 to 5. How much merit do you think
gosh.
Shawshank
I would
have?
be between. I know that we don't do decimal points, but I would be somewhere between 3 and 4.
And we're not even talking about love, like
Yeah.
your Goodreads. I'm just thinking of like, if I'm having to evaluate what's got merit and what doesn't.
There are some deeper concepts to it, like we were talking about. I think, we always talk about what makes something literary, and I think that to me is what I have deduced it down to. The more we talk it out, is there some complexity to it, and what do you mean by complexity? Because that's like the next question. And for me, complexity is there self-evaluation?
Mm-hmm.
Is there self-questioning? Is there complexity in the characters, as in, are they changing? Are they nuanced? Like, is it more than just, and all of that to me is there. The messaging is a deeper message, because like I said, we could say, well, it's about loss of identity, or we could say it's about never giving up hope, or you could really dive into it. However, because that's something I want to talk about too, because it is such a stream of consciousness book, there are times that I got bored reading it, just because it was just like, you just kind of felt like it would be like if Red was in the room, you kind of elbow him like, hey, get back on track here. Does that make sense?
I didn't feel that way. I didn't feel that way at all.
Well, that's what I was saying though, to you in the hall is, I wonder if it's because the movie is so familiar to us, if maybe that affected me some too.
Don't you think that Prophet Song felt stream of consciousness with those long chapter breaks and then next chapter break and then next? Did it not feel stream of consciousness
At times, for sure, especially in the dream sequences. Yeah.
Did you feel the same kind of, I don't want to say boredom, but like, hey, move it along?
Not really, no.
I didn't feel that way in Prophet Song either.
Okay, so stream of consciousness, I feel like, is presented as like this higher literary form, because it's always talked about with Cormac McCarthy. It's always talked about with William Faulkner.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Charles Frazier has stream of consciousness in his stuff. I mean, what do you think about stream? Do you think that it is like this higher literary form, or do you think that Virginia Woolf is another one? Her short stuff has got a ton of stream of consciousness in it. I don't know. I mean, at what point is it literary stream of consciousness, and at what point of it is you're just writing off the top of your head?
Isn't that one of those cases where it's like you just know it when you see it? It when you see it. Who was I listening to the other day? I think I was listening to Harold Bloom in an interview.
Harold Lauder?
Harold Bloom.
Oh, sorry.
the critic. And Harold Bloom was talking about a popular novel series, and he said, it's just bad writing. It's just bad writing. And I feel weird saying that about things, even though I know I've read books before that I'm like, yawn fest, that bores me. Or this guy's being pretentious, quit it.
Yeah.
I feel like there are times when it just is bad writing, but also when he says it about a popular series that I know has sold tons and tons, made mega millions off of, how can you say that that's bad writing if commercially it was a tremendous success? It may be bad writing, quote unquote, in that it didn't really speak to anything artful. Like it wasn't told in an artful way, or maybe that you, from your point of view, didn't get some artful human message. I don't know.
Well, you're just upset because I read that too. It was about your favorite book series, 50 Shades of Grey.
That's exactly what it was about. You outed me right here.
Or the Left Behind series, which I have read. I just want to say that. Right. I have read that series.
My aunt literally hit me up with that again the other night, because I remember her having that book series at every book as it came out, right? Yeah. And I love her to death. Her eyesight's kind of failing, and so these are the books that she still has because they're big print and that she reads. But she's kind of leaning a little bit toward the audiobook because, and the eyesight. But she insists on going back through the Left Behind series.
It's a good time to do it.
I'm back on Left Behind.
It's a good time to do it. Yes. I think that's the beautiful thing about all of this is it is subjective.
Yeah.
I've shared books with you that you've loved. You've shared books with me that I've loved. But I've also shared a few stinkers with you, and you've shared...
Like what?
I don't know. I feel like there's been a few where you've kind of been like, meh.
I mean, there's some that I don't necessarily love.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, we've shared books with each other that we've been like, oh, wow, like Prophet Song.
Yeah.
Oh, man, this is like immediately in the top 10 of my books, right? Or it impacted me immediately. And then there's been some that's kind of been like...
Oh, like Warlock. Yeah, I got you.
Warlock. Yes, exactly. So... But do you know what I mean? I mean, that is a good comparison though, because to me, there's a lot of like literary things going on in Warlock that is so complex, and you're kind of like, I don't see it. I don't see it.
But I
and
don't
that's
think
okay.
I don't think it's bad writing. And I know that there is bad writing out there because you just see it, whether it's on Wattpad or wherever, right? Or it's been self-published, or heck, I'm not going to mention this author's name, but he is a popular McFiction writer, and I don't get it, but it's like, that's bad writing. I felt bad when Harold Bloom was saying it, because I thought, how can you say that from a certain perspective about such a critically successful series? But
maybe he's jealous.
I don't know. I know that in the AP exam, College Board removed that from their prompt, that they wanted students to pick a work of literary merit because it is so subjective. But there's times, I mean, there's so many times when the kids are coming to me and they're like, hey, can I write about whatever? And it's like, dude, what are you doing? Why are you hamstringing yourself? Why are you making it more difficult? The AP exam is evaluating you as a critical thinker and writer. So we want to see what you can do with your insight and your word craft and all of that. It's not about the book you pick. But why are you making it more difficult for yourself by selecting something like, I don't know, the Brony's Guide to My Little Pony? Like, why do that?
Yeah.
You know? I say all of this because I do feel like Shawshank Redemption is a story with merit to it.
I think so, yeah.
It's about the endurance of the human spirit. It talks about injustice and justice. It is a story about love, and there's love on different wavelengths. And this is like a Nick Carraway, Jay Gatsby kind of brotherly love that I've developed an inspiration by this guy that I thought mattered nothing to me in my life. It's a story about not knowing how important people are going to be to you when you first meet them, and then they wind up being the person that sets you free.
Well, right? Also, too, with the Andy Dufresne and Gatsby and Nick Carraway and Red, it's also like you're probably not going to like this guy, but I admire this guy type of thing.
And if Red's narrative wears you out a little bit and you're like, come on, Elbow, move it along, maybe that's also a nod to Red's voice as a character, that he, as a character, is like that. Whereas the narrator for Prophet Song is not like that.
No, Red is 100% like that.
So it's a character detail that we can examine through language and storytelling.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I just feel like Shawshank Redemption is a meritable story.
I think so.
That I could use in an AP classroom.
Why not?
I mean, why not?
Why not?
Why not?
You better do it quick.
Right?
Before they give you
your
scripted curriculum.
Too, and whatever.
I was going to ask you, do you think that this is the most famous Stephen King book that maybe people don't realize is a Stephen King book?
Right.
I think so.
Because that's come up before where people are like, oh, yeah, I wish you'd written something like that, Shawshank Redemption. And he is, I did write that. No, you didn't. I was trying to think of what's another one. Maybe, I don't know. I was going to say maybe something like Dolores Claiborne, but I think people
What
probably
about The
know
Green
it too.
Mile? He wrote that, did he not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just assumed people knew that.
I had no clue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which was a serialized story, and I feel like has similar merit and probably similar story elements to Shawshank.
It's got a little bit more of that magic.
It's another
to it,
prison story.
Yeah. Man, what a freaking movie, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great.
And then 11/22/63 is another historical fiction story of his that I'm pretty sure people know about. That's Stephen King.
So Stephen King's known for horror.
Right. I think he's primarily known for horror.
Do you think it's because of it?
It is so much of that early work. It, Carrie being his first book.
Pet Sematary.
Pet Sematary. Like, that's how he made his name in the 80s, right?
Okay. Do you think if we take those away, is he still Stephen King?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He's way more than just the horror, right?
I know that, but I'm just saying, like, do you think if you take those horrors out?
Yes.
He never wrote those. We're on an alternative timeline. Is he still like Stephen King in this alternative timeline?
Fight me. He is a better writer aside from books like aside from books like Pet Sematary, he's a much better writer in things like 11/22/63 and others. Like, I think he is masterful at that. Yeah. I think he's still Stephen King.
I thought it was a
Heck
good
yeah.
book. That's what I was saying. Though. I thought it was interesting though. With this one, I was able to be like, oh yeah, I can see. I know who you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's got some hallmark traits.
Yeah, like with McCarthy, you're like, I know this guy.
Yeah.
And even Faulkner or who else? I think Charles Frazier. I know we talk about him a lot. I think he's like that too. So I think John Williams is almost like that. Do you think? Maybe not. I don't know.
I guess we're going to find
have
out.
to read another
I guess we're going to find out when we read Stoner.
Dang. Dang.
All right.
5 stars, 1 to 5. Go.
4.
Me too.
Yeah.
4.
So what keeps it from being a 5?
Just that gut feeling, I think. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like we're getting closer. You were just talking about like defining literary merit.
Yeah.
I feel like that you and I are getting closer for us to have like actual parameters to it, just because we talk about that so much. But there still is just that gut feeling in your belly, and you're like, this isn't a 5. It's a 4.
What about the movie Shawshank?
Oh, the movie is a 5 star.
That's a 5, though,
Yeah.
right? So is it because they've taken some of these aspects and, I don't know, deepened some of the moments and scenes, moved some of the errata out, and then actually like enhanced the story?
I don't want to get pretentious, but we just did a content analysis over Trump's first 100 Instagram posts for his first term and his second term. And so, I know I was complaining about that literature review to you, but that's something that I learned was a lot of, Facebook and Twitter has always been like the go-to for politicians and political journalists and stuff like that. But they're starting to shift over to Instagram because it's a younger demographic. But also there's a lot of research that's showing that if you have an image or a video with your post, that the human brain is retaining that information more, and that they're like more emotionally connected to those things. And, there's a lot, I know that you talk about you sharing stuff on your Facebook, there's a lot of research that's being done right now because these news websites are posting links onto Facebook because they want traffic to go to their page, not a Facebook page, but to their actual website. And if there's a link in it, people are ignoring it. They'll read the quick blurb and move on.
Yep.
If there's a picture and a video, they'll sit there and read the whole thing. So, again, that's translating over to Instagram and all this stuff. Blah, 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 blah. That's boring. But here's where I think that comes into is, like we were talking about with Project Hail Mary. I have a large imagination, so it's not hard in my imagination to read and get in there, especially if it's a good book, right? But when I sit and I see Rocky and I see the friendship, I'm in it. When I see Andy Dufresne when I'm immersed in that, and I'm not saying that can't happen in a book. I'm not discounting that at all. I do think that there are differences though in visually seeing it, you know? And I think that that's why a lot of people, unfortunately, will watch a movie. I think that for us, I just read an article last night that was saying if you want your teenagers to be smart, they need to be reading up to 12 hours a week because they were talking about how, and it was saying, Crockett, like not just anything, don't give them, they were saying they were recommending modern literature classics.
Yeah.
Those, whatever that is, that's what they were recommending because they were saying they need to be able to identify complexity in characters, complexity in situations. And you're not going to find that in your Hunger Games. I'm sorry.
Right.
Okay. It's good to read those every now and then. We read those every now and then.
Harold Bloom would say that's bad writing.
Well, I mean, and maybe, you know what? Maybe it is. Like, honestly, maybe it is. But there's benefits in reading that you get with your brain that we need that as a society.
Yeah.
But the emotional impact is going to come from the movie.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's why when you say, well, Shawshank's a 4 book, but it's a 5 movie, well, there's why.
Yeah.
What do you think about that rant?
I think you're right. I think when they take scenes like Andy Dufresne enhancing the library, I think that's a great angle in the story. But in the movie, when you get to see Andy is aging because now he wears glasses, and then you get to see the unboxing of the records, and he's actually being a little familiar with the guards. So it's like you're not just a nobody. Like they can actually rib with you right there. And then when he puts on the music and locks the door and the operatic singer, like somehow that music speaks to a chord in the human heart because everybody in the yard is looking up at this music. It is the most beautiful piece of music for that one moment. That does not happen at all in the book. But the film takes something like that, enhances it a little bit, and gives you this so that it's visual, it's emotional, it's musical, and you get this moment of human beauty and inspiration.
Yeah.
Boom.
Boom.
I think it's great.
What about your psycho score?
This story for me is probably like a 14, 15.
I'm at like a 15.
Yeah.
How much at McKay's?
Oh, I don't know.
Too much.
This one was too much.
We might find out.
This one was too much.
I know you
I
bought
got
that
our
one at
copies of
McKay's.
McKay's.
I saw the sticker.
I think it was like $6 and change at McKay's, right?
Well, that's because it's Stephen King.
I guess so. And that was at Nashville McKay's.
I would pay $6 for it.
Well, I did pay $6.
Yeah, I would pay $6.
I would willingly do that.
Yeah, I would pay
Now,
$6.
if I were trying to get a classroom set of them, I don't want to pay $6 for each one of them. I want something more wholesale.
Yeah. Okay. You said you were going to say thank you as Morgan Freeman.
Oh, yeah, but it's so bad, right?
And I can't do...
Why not? He's so chill. He's so chill.
He's freaking Nuke LaLoosh in Bull Durham.
Oh, yeah. And you know, Andy
Breathe
Dufresne...
through your eyes.
Andy
Dufresne
Dufresne,
through my eyes.
in the story, he's supposed to be a short guy with glasses.
Oh, yeah.
And Red is supposed to be a white guy with red hair.
Have you ever seen pictures of Dietrich Bonhoeffer?
No.
That was my Andy Dufresne in the book. I'll have to show you a picture of him.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
I'll try to do Andy Dufresne. And you do Morgan Freeman Red.
Okay.
Go.
Okay. Well, it's like I always told Andy. You either get busy living or you get busy dying. So here we are at the end of the show, and I'm going to be wandering a field, looking through a hayfield for a rock, shinier than glass, doesn't belong here. And I'm just going to say, I hope I find a way out and that I find you again, Frankfurt, because I say thank you.
Does that not look like him?
That looks like Andy Dufresne.
That looks like Andy
That looks like
Dufresne.
him.
So he'd say, this is not going to be good. Well, hello, everyone. It's Albert Einstein. I've come back to say thank you and so long. Okay. That's going to be
He got it.
so random. He would say, I don't mind being so obtuse. Why are you being so base? Just thank you for nothing.
You really need more than saying, what did you call me? Frankfurt would never be obtuse with us. Frankfurt.
No. We are Germany's 15th most popular podcast.
I would really love for the people in Frankfurt to tell us how to say obtuse in German.
They do say it like this, obtuse.
Hey, if you're a fan of good conversations and fresh takes on literature and the kind of school stories that stick with you long after the bell rings, well, I've got a podcast for you. It's called With Honors, and it's where my high school students have taken the microphone, not just to analyze books or talk about our lessons, but to reflect on what we've learned this year, have conversations about what surprised them, how our literature and classroom experiences connect to their real lives. And we talk about everything from symbolism and Poe to the pros and cons of class pets, and all through the voices of smart, curious students who have learned to speak their minds. New episodes drop regularly every week, and every one is a snapshot of what it looks like when students take ownership of their own learning and have a little fun while they're at it. You can find With Honors on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and our YouTube channel, so check them out.